Okay, welcome to episode 1 of my new podcast. I was planning on just doing an audio podcast, but since I'm going to do a lot more coding and probably visualizations and things like that, I think it'll be more beneficial to actually make a video podcast. I will set up a GitHub repo so you can have access to all the tools, all the links and resources that I'm going to provide for you. I've been wanting to do this for a while, just haven't had the time or I guess the motivation until recently. So I am very excited and I want to thank Dan for giving me that last bit of push to actually do this. And I just got an alert that Spotify has approved my podcast because they merged recently with Anchor, and now I'm going to actually follow through on this. So let's actually get into some of the code. Now, in here, I'm going to keep all of my notes for the podcast. I'm going to show you all the tools that I have. I use Chrome, Visual Studio, Xcode Beta, Homebrew, Node, Firebase CLI, Slack, OBS Studio, and Audacity. And let me take you through each one of these. So in here, all right, quick little plug. This is my original website. This is my blog. Feel free to follow it. Really appreciate it. All right, Visual Studio Code. Code.visualstudio.com. You'll download. This is the best IDE that I have used pretty much ever. With some of the plugins it has, it's pretty amazing. It handles all the languages that I've dealt with. Primarily now I'm doing JavaScript and Python. It's really nice. Homebrew. Homebrew is a package manager for Mac or Linux, and it allows you to do some easy ways to install packages, manage them. Here's the command to actually do it. I'm going to have this link in my repo. Obviously, Google Chrome. I'm a huge Chrome fan. I'll show you why as we go through this journey together. But primarily a lot of the editing tools and the developer tools and even the metrics of things. And then repositories. I use GitHub. I'll show you how to create a new repo. It's pretty simple. Do it right now. Click on New. And you will enter a repository name and you will have a new repo. And then when you get there, you're going to see a link after you create one with a README file. And right here, you'll actually click and clone this. And that's assuming you have an SSH key. Don't worry, I know you probably don't know what an SSH key is right now, but I will help you set that up. Before you do that, if you just want to clone my repo and see what I'm doing, you can actually use the HTTPS version and you'll have to log into your GitHub account. With SSH, if you have a two-factor authentication set up, you know those things that you do MFA, they call it multi-factor authentication, and you log in with your phone and you have to enter this code and all of that. If you use HTTPS, there's a lot more difficulty in regards to setting up keys and doing that kind of integration with Git. So I recommend setting up a key to do that. The next one is Xcode. I'm using the beta because it helps you develop even on their newest one, which is Vision OS. And with this, you're going to have to set up an Xcode developer account. And then Firebase. So Firebase I use for a lot of my basic hosting. If I click on Mac OS, it will default to this one. Don't do this one. Do this one. It's a lot easier. And especially, I've had some problems in regards to the Silicon Macs, and by doing it this way, it makes it a lot easier. So you have your Firebase CLI, of course, Slack for communication, OBS project. Here, I'll actually take you there. So this is the OBS Studio. Amazing. That's what I'm recording this on right now. I can actually switch scenes pretty seamlessly. So if you want to see this, I can do this. And then I can go back to my code for the top right, or if you want to do code at the bottom right, I can do that too. I don't know, I just kind of like it at the top right, it works for me. All right, and the final one is Audacity. So if I go into Audacity, you'll be able to download all of that. I'll accept that for the time being. This is what is really good for recording audio. OBS does it for both video and audio. So I'm going to stick with OBS for now since I've migrated from a regular podcast to a video podcast. So now when you go to Git, and I've created all of these things. Let's go back to Git right here, right? And this is my podcast. So I actually have a repo here. And I'm going to show you some of the commands I'm going to use. So one of the things in Visual Studio Code, I like the terminal. And when I do the terminal, I want you to be able to be aware of what I'm using. So there's the command. It's literally Control tilde, and it will actually open the terminal. Even if I exit this terminal and I run that again, it'll actually show it again. All right, now if I do git status, you will see the current status of my git. Now if I do git add, git commit -add, updated with new episode, and then git push, there. So now if I go back to Git and I refresh this page, you're going to see, wow, I need to format this a little bit better, which is really easy to do. So you just got to add the spaces at the end. Oh. There, I save that, and then git status, git add, git commit, updated 4 spaces, and push. So now if I refresh this, there, looks a lot better. So now you have all the links. You can come to this location right here, and that will allow you to click on all these links and install. And then we can actually go on this journey together, creating a new website, setting up some process, hopefully help you avoid some of the pitfalls of getting something set up. And that's all I have for today. I think that's enough to get you started. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to help. All right, thanks so much.